Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining us. In this video, I am going to talk to you about my laziness and how I overcame it. Now, as some of you already know, I've been freelancing for a little over a year now. I've also been doing Jiu Jitsu for about 9 months. And these two new endeavors have been quite challenging. When I talk about being lazy, I don't mean in my work career. Whenever clients would have projects for me, I was actually quite motivated throughout the whole creative process. And I also trained 5 to 7 times a week. I was lazy in creating opportunities for myself. For instance, I got 100 business cards. Check them out. They're pretty cool with a little chin. I'm trying to cover my phone number at the bottom. I don't know if I'm doing a good job. I don't know if this is in focus, but yeah. So I got 100 of these and I never went to any networking events to pass them out. I had a flexible schedule where I get to decide whenever I want to work, yet I wasn't creating content. I wanted to tell compelling stories, yet I wasn't practicing writing on a regular basis. There's no way that I'm going to create anything meaningful if I'm not practicing writing. I've decided to practice my shooting on a regular basis, so I try to take my camera out wherever I go so that if ever I feel inspired, I take out my camera and I start shooting. Now, how is this related to Jiu Jitsu? Jiu Jitsu reveals the truth to you. And the truth is that I was being extremely lazy in creating opportunities for myself. Now, this is how I see it. There's two types of creators. There's the creator that creates on a regular basis, and there's also the perfectionist who ends up never putting out any of their work because they're too busy judging and criticizing their own work. And I've decided that I want to become a content creator that creates on a regular basis. Even though you're making a little bit of mistakes here and there, you have to learn from those mistakes and make the right adjustments in your next project. For instance, the lighting in my last video was horrible. That's because my softbox came with a fluorescent light that was useless, and now I finally got an LED light that lights up the room a lot better than that fluorescent light. So you make these little adjustments as you go on. I've adopted this new idea of just practicing your craft on a regular basis in the hopes of getting better. Jiu-Jitsu was one of the hardest things I ever had to do, and it kind of reminded me of how hard you have to work in order to achieve something. And Jiu-Jitsu is the daily reminder for me that if you're not putting the work in and you're not paying attention, and you're not doing your homework, you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, life will strangle the out of you. And I've already noticed a lot of benefits doing Jiu-Jitsu. I feel like it's the year that I've actually grown the most as a content creator. And one of the reasons why I was being so lazy was because I was criticizing myself in such a negative light that I was discouraged to even start a personal project because I knew that I would have to go through my own harsh criticism, and it was something that I dreaded and I didn't want to do. It was creating resistance in the form of laziness. It's only in a state of judging less that we can produce more. The other reason why I was being lazy is because the vision I have in my mind doesn't match what it is I'm producing, and that becomes quite frustrating as a content creator because you have this crazy vision inside of your mind of what you want to produce for your own personal content, and that vision is up here and what you're producing is down here. So I think that actually hinders you and makes you not want to create and kind of discourages you. But the truth is you have to put in the work on a regular basis and just hammer at your craft as much as you can, because there's no way that you're just gonna produce greatness out of nowhere. So for that reason, I've decided to create this video more for myself than for you guys, because I'm hoping that by creating this video and calling myself out and telling my future self that, hey man, you're lazy, you need to get your together in order to hopefully light a fire on them so that I can start producing on a regular basis. The only excuse that I could have for not creating content is because I was overbooked with clients. Here are a few ways that I've used to get out of a lazy slump. Now, don't worry, I won't tell you to meditate and exercise. One of the tricks that I've used is to just open a Google Docs and to write the title of your next project. This helps a lot. Your mind just kind of gets into it, and a lot of times I end up writing a little paragraph about my idea. This leads me to my second piece of advice, which is to create a really bad first draft. You feel bad creating this bad draft, so you start polishing it up and it actually ends up sounding not too bad. This also leads me to my third piece of advice for my future self, having an accountability buddy. So essentially when you're writing your draft, tell a friend or somebody that you respect their feedback that you're going to be sending them a first draft. You obviously don't want to embarrass yourself, so you end up like polishing up your first draft before you send it to them, and this actually helps in the creative process. They also end up following up and asking you what you did with that piece of work. Anyways, that's all I wanted to say for this video. Thank you so much for sharing your time with me. I really appreciate it. If you guys could support me by subscribing, it would mean a lot to me. And always remember to believe in yourself.